I'm back here with you again, Bridget, back here in Killan. And I suppose I'm here because I want to ask you a few questions about, I suppose, Christmas when you were growing up and what you remember, and I suppose how it's changed over the years. So, can I ask you, like, we're here beside your Christmas tree. I suppose the first thing I want to ask you, did you have a Christmas tree when you were a little one?
We did, yeah. We always had a Christmas tree. Now, of course, there was no fairy lights or anything on it. Just cats' ladders and balloons and things like that. There was no such thing as fairy lights when I was a little child. That was all the decorations was homemade for the house. Holly chains for the ceiling. Maybe I remember I was very artistic and she used to make holly chains and paper roses for the ceiling and that type of thing. And the Christmas tree was mostly handmade decorations as well.
And where would you get the Christmas tree?
We would have cut it out in the fields at home, somewhere around the place to be a nice tree, and cut and put it in a bucket of clay or stone beside it. At that stage there was no Christmas stands or anything. Put in a bucket of clay and decorate it. And we always had a crib. That was the most important part of the decoration for Christmas. Yeah, so that was it.
And the Christmas tree, because we were up near the mountain here, there would have been a lot of forestry here, was there?
Oh no, we would have got one out around the fields at home. There was always Leyland tree, different trees growing here around home, like, and we didn't know what it was to buy a Christmas tree, I suppose, until we grew up. Like, we bought them then, but Daddy would have got the holly. Holly was a big decoration. The buried holly was a special one, but if you couldn't, you get the army holly that was brought in from the fields here. Like, it was never bought.
And the Leyland tree was the tree?
Yeah, sometimes the nicest something you could pick up around the farm, like, was picked out and sorted out for the Christmas tree.
And you get a holly up in the
Oh,
ditches
the
as
fields,
well?
yeah. You'd be looking out to see where you get a tree with berries on it, but then sometimes the birds would be at the getting there before you, so you'd have to do without the berries. But it was nearly always buried holly cars.
Especially if it was a bad winter, they said the birds would get there before you.
Yeah. That's God's provision for the birds for the winter, the berries.
God's provision.
Yeah.
And tell me this, when would you put up the Christmas tree when you were a child?
I suppose maybe the week before Christmas. It was now, you didn't, like, Christmas really didn't start until about the 8th of December. Like, Christmas was, you started getting ready for Christmas then. Mammy make the cake. And that time there was no electric mixer or anything. It was made with the wooden spoon in the bowl. And she'd make the pudding. And the pudding was boiled in a sweet can. The local store used to sell the loose sweets. You go in, and whatever amount of money you had, you got, he'd make a cone of a piece of paper, and you got your tuppence worth of sweets, the loose sweets. And then the women around would be booking the can for boil the Christmas pudding in. And the smell of the spicy pudding was absolutely, I never can make one like it. Yeah, lovely Christmassy smell. And she'd be boiling on the cooker, an old Jubilee cooker in the corner for maybe a day or two. Yeah.
Isn't it funny the way you can remember the things that your mother would have cooked that you can never replicate
No, you can
yourself?
never make him like him. No, and she made the Christmas cake, and the turkey was brought in reared at home, and even if it was bought, it was short enough now the feathers. It didn't come in a plastic bag oven ready. It was you had to get oven ready yourself. Like, it came in, and it came intact except the feathers. That was the only thing was missing. Yeah, with the turkey, like, and it was got ready. It was a big thing too, going to buy the turkey. That was another occasion. Daddy learned Mr. used to nearly always do that. Yeah, so.
And you were saying the 8th was the day, I suppose, that was the... it
was a holy day. Yeah, it was a holy day. Like, in later years we used to go shopping on the 8th, but then you didn't. But Mammy would sit down and write all our Christmas cards. That was the thing to do. Like, on the 8th of December you write all the Christmas cards, which at that time loads of Christmas cards went out. There wasn't as many phones, there was no phones or anything like that, so anyone you wanted to get in touch with for Christmas, it was through a Christmas card. It wasn't, there was no other way of doing it then. Like, so that was the way it was.
So was the 8th really when you remember, and did a lot of people, because the day was off, you had the day off, you'd go shopping, would you, or would you go looking?
Well, we didn't as children, we didn't go shopping. We went to town, when we went shopping, we went to see Santy in town. We went on the bus. A bus used to run through Killan to Enniscorthy 3 days a week. And we went in to see, to do our Christmas shopping and see Santa and all that. We were rotting on the bus from Killarn, and I remember coming out to town then and seeing all the fairy lights in the town. It was lovely.
And I suppose you were farmers here yourselves.
We were small,
Small
very small, yeah, very, very small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people had more and some people had less. I know in the case of my own father, he said they were lucky if they would have had half a pig's head on Christmas for
Yeah.
Christmas dinner because they had very little.
Yeah,
But
very happy just to see him.
absolutely.
Hmm.
One of the things I said again, he always did was like yourself was getting the holly and collecting it. Did you ever bring the holly around to neighbours, give the neighbours a little
No, but there was a tradition where a Christmas block, a stick, a wood for the fire, like Mammy's sister-in-law lived in the town, and she always got what was called the Christmas block. It was a couple of bags of blocks for the fire. It was a tradition, the Christmas block, and we even know a neighbour up the road who bring his over 80, and he brings us down the Christmas block still. He's a German man, and he'd arrive here before Christmas with a bag of sticks, the Christmas block.
Wow.
It was a tradition around here at that time, yeah.
And it's bringing back memories. You there now,
Yeah,
I can see.
yeah.
Are you alright?
Yeah.
So that's a Christmas block.
Yeah.
Christmas block. And at Christmas, would you put a holly up then come the 8th as well?
The dresser was always, there was always holly on the top of the dresser, and as I said, Mammy used to make holly chains for the ceiling, hang them up. She'd make roses out of crepe paper and put them in it, and she'd have the place gorgeous.
What can you describe a holly chain to me?
She would wind string, ordinary twine, and she'd wind it. She'd make make the holly into a chain with the twine. She'd wind the twine. Make a chain along with the holly, with a twine, and tie paper roses in it, and that was our ceiling decoration.
Yeah. Stuck up with a thumbtack or
Oh yeah, thumbtacks. Yeah, there were no blue tack then. Yeah, thumbtacks were up in the scene, yeah.
And would you put the holly over pictures?
All over all the pictures, there'd be a bit of holly put over all the pictures on the top of the dresser, and any place, maybe the mantelpiece and different places like that, the holly would be put up.
Over the
and then there'd be holly wreaths made to go on the graves. She made them herself as well.
And they would be left on the graves on.
We always visited the graves. Sometimes maybe Christmas Eve, not so much Christmas Day. We never left the home Christmas Day. Well, when the dinner would be over, we went up to what we called the parlour, and she would read the stories out of the storybooks. But we never left. We had no grannies or anything to go see on a Christmas Day. You see, both our grandparents were dead, so we just go up into the parlour, big fire, and lie back and read she'd read the stories, or the storybooks would be have to get them from Auntie. Then maybe that's the way our Christmas Day was spent. But then in later years, we were allowed to visit we had family up the road, Donnellys. We were allowed to go visit them on a Christmas Day and see what Sandy brought them. So that was brilliant as well. To be able to go and visit the friends, because one time it was just inside. We were supposed we're too little to be let off on our own anyway. But that's why our Christmas Day would be spent at the fire, doing the stories and playing the games and all that type of thing. Yeah.
And with the holly you put up as well, you put it over the religious pictures as well, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah. Holly went everywhere. There was a bit. You could put a bit of holly. Went, yes.
Yeah. And even before I even get to Christmas Day, things like the crib you put up. When did you put up your crib?
Yeah, it'd be sometime around Christmas week, early Christmas week. The decorations didn't go up as early as they're going up now. It was to be going on into Christmas week or that before the crib and that had been put up.
And you have a little crib yourself that you got as a child, is it?
I got it off my aunt as a child, tiny little thing. Yeah, so that's put up for all time's sake.
And you got that when you were only 7, was it?
About 6 or 7 year old, yeah. So it's here and it's put up to the good still.
It's over here beside me, and you put it up yet?
Yeah, we just had to put it up. Yeah.
And as well, there's a kind of a tradition where I grew up where you'd always get a bit of straw in the crib and put it in your purse or your bag.
That was another part of, before Christmas the big thing was you went to confession, and then on Christmas morning of course you went to mass, but then another day after Christmas you'd go back to visit the crib in the church, and people used to take a bit of straw out of the crib it was believed that your house would never go off fire if you had a bit of straw out the crib in your house. There was just a belief like them days that was, the house wouldn't go off fire if you had a bit of straw in the house somewhere out the crib.
And do you do it?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So somewhere around here there's a bit of
somewhere
straw.
there is, yeah. Yeah.
Wow. And tell me this as well, like coming up to say Christmas Eve, I suppose you'd be preparing getting stuff ready for the dinner, would you?
Oh yes, the whole house would be cleaned down, and as I said, the confessions that was done. So most times for Christmas Eve you went to confession, and the whole house Mary was very particular. Christmas Eve every place would be shining, and she'd have a candle lighting on the table for Our Lady, and the lovely smell of all this food cooking and the old Jubilee here in the background.
Yeah.
That time was an old Jubilee, little small Jubilee cooker. Was here that time, and everything would be spick and span for Christmas morning, coming down over Christmas morning then. And I can't remember whether the mass used to be at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. I know to us it was very early, but we didn't want to have to leave the toys, of course, but we went to mass on the bicycles all the year round, like. But on Christmas morning, there was a friend of Daddy's, Paddy Cooney, he had a car, and Daddy used to hire him to bring us to mass in the car for Christmas, and came home then, and the big fry up. Because we had to be out from all hours, and you had to fast 3 hours before mass on a Christmas morning.
What time was mass?
I can't remember whether it was at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Mass used to be very black dark, and you couldn't go to communion if you weren't after fasting for 3 hours. So you didn't get your breakfast before you went to mass. But when you came home, then there was the big, massive fry up. We'd all have that like before. I can remember that well. On your Christmas morning.
This is bringing back floods of memories for you.
Yeah, it is indeed, yeah. Mushroom 2 centimetre altogether. Yeah.
And tell me, are you okay to talk?
Yeah.
And on Christmas Eve itself, Bridget, did you start out at all?
No, but I remember one Christmas Eve, Mammy used to always get coats made with the tailor for us for Christmas. And I remember one Christmas Eve, there was 2 tailors in the parish, and she used to make all her own clothes, but she used to get the tailor to make our coats. I remember one Christmas Eve we were here, and you didn't start out, and this big knock come to the door, and it was learned afterwards it was the tailor. He said that Santy was at the door. So we weren't long about scampering to bed, but he was going with the parcel of the coats for the morning. Yeah, but no, there wasn't as much going around at all at Christmas time. You stayed more, but then you had no way going on a bicycle, and the weather was bad, and as I said, our grandparents were dead, so we didn't have them to go to. But people had called to the house. Some people had called out, but hardly ever on a Christmas day. Everyone stayed in their own home.
Yeah. And on Christmas Eve, was there a midnight mass here in Killaan?
No, I wouldn't imagine so. I think there was a early Christmas mark. I don't remember midnight mass. I think that only came in as I grew up. I don't think it was when I was a child. I don't think there was any midnight mass. But there used to be a choir used to be singing on a Christmas morning, and it was another thing. It was a Christmas morning. It used to be known as a silent collection. Everybody gave a note instead of coppers of a Christmas morning. Yeah, there was what was known as a silent collection.
Jeez, that worked out well then, I'd say, did it?
Yeah.
And tell me this as well. Did the men stir out for a drink, and did anyone go for a drink?
Well, you see, my father wasn't a drinking man, so I really don't know. I think they did, because I think there used to be a few men maybe didn't have families. Used to be in the church for mass. Oh no, that would have been midnight mass. That would have been later in my years. It would have been when midnight mass came in. There was a few men that used to have a few drinks on them and used to sing a few songs at the bottom of the church. But that would have been later in life. It was not when I was very small. I don't remember anything about that like that.
It's funny, where I grew up, we had a story the same as well. There was one particular man supposed to come in at midnight mass and climbed into the crib.
Oh.
There's not a village I've been in that doesn't have that story. So
yes. So he might have been. Yeah, he might have been. It might have been more a story.
Well, you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't
yeah,
know.
which we.
Yeah. And come here. Did you have Santi growing up?
Oh yes, we did. Yeah, we did. We used to hang our stocking And to be honest, we used to hang 2 bags up at the either side of the fire and go off to bed and be terrified to come back down in case he would be after coming. Yeah. Yeah, oh God, we always had Santa, yeah.
And did you do that same thing as the children are doing now, about leaving out a bit of food or something?
Yeah, we did, and the place we always marked that, it was very jovial, and the place we always marked in the morning, let there be marks of Santa after being around the house in the morning. We always have to have him what was going to be left out for him, and to be marks of soot on the glass, and there was Santa was very busy. Yeah.
And did you leave the lit candle for
the candle? It was lighting on the table for Our Lady until we'd be going to bed, until Mammy and I'd be going to bed, and then it'd be put out. Yeah, and we couldn't be left lighting all night or anything. Yeah, no, I'd be put out then.
Did you ever hear the one where if you went outside you'd hear the animals talking? Did you ever hear that one?
No, I didn't hear that.
The animals were given the gift of speech, said on
Christmas
Eve.
No, I didn't hear that.
No. And Christmas Day then, basically, when it come, you come back after Mass, you get your big fry.
Yes.
When would you get the grub at all? When would you...
I'll be, like, I suppose, 1 o'clock, and I would have the Christmas dinner, yeah. Yeah, you know, the goodies, yeah. Christmas pudding and cinnamon sauce on it.
Cinnamon sauce?
Yeah, I used to make cinnamon sauce for the Christmas pudding.
What was that?
Yeah. It was basically, I suppose, what you could say, liquid corn flour like sauce type of thing, and cinnamon in it. It was lovely. I never tasted anything like it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. That was like, there wasn't, we didn't have ice cream or anything then. Like, it was cinnamon sauce. It was nice hot cinnamon sauce on your pudding Christmas Day. It was lovely.
And even things like the dinner back then, I suppose, that when you have the dinner, would Brussels sprouts, would they have been part of it? No, they were new.
No, my memory here, like, poor credit, she thought she was treating us, because we'd have homegrown vegetables the whole year round, like, there'd be vegetable turnips from the yard or whatever, and on Christmas she used to think she was treating us by giving us peas and peas out of a tin, and she thought she was treating us, and I hated them. Yeah, I don't like the sprouts either, so yeah, it was like there was peas for Christmas Day, and I don't know what other veg, maybe carrots or whatever, but she was doing this for a treat for us, and I ate them. Yeah.
Well, you were getting fresh vegetables all year round?
All year round we got, yeah, like they used to grow all their own vegetables here, like from right around the year, like to be always something from here, like, you know.
I suppose your onions would have been stored in...
The onions would be hanked and stored on the loft, up in the beams in the loft. There'd be enough onions sold for the whole year, and they'd be hanging up on the loft in hanks. Yeah.
Did you have a pit for the spuds?
Oh, we did, yeah. We always had the potatoes out in the pit, bring them in then. We had what we called a barn, it was a clay floor, so there'd be a certain amount of them stored there. Had fitting there to be stored there, and then the rest to be stored in the pit until the barn was empty, and then we go and bring in more.
And who did that, your father? Put the pit
Yeah,
in?
Mammy and I too. Yeah, we did. We all did it. Mary, my sister. Yeah, we all did. We all had to do our share, like. Yeah. It was just part of it, like.
And for the pit, for someone who doesn't know what a pit was, it a hole in the ground with straw?
It was a shallow hole in the ground and straw in it, and then the potatoes, and then you put straw on the pit, on top of the potatoes, and then there was clay put up on top of that again. Yeah, it was a nuisance. Yeah, I hated getting the potatoes out of the pit.
Did you get the smell later on the year?
They used to pit the carrots and parsnips as well. Sometimes they do them in sand, and more times in a pit like the potatoes. Yeah.
And tell me this, come Christmas Day, you'd be here with Mammy, and she'd be reading your books.
Yeah, Black Beauty and Little Women and what Katie did next. I remember the books as well as if they were only yesterday, like, you know, yeah.
Do you have any other toys you've left from your child?
I had the first teddy I ever got lived to be 40. He was 40 before he fell asunder. Yeah, and I have a pushchair I have hanging up in the loft below. Yeah, just a bare frame now at this stage, but.
Did you write a letter to Santa as well?
Oh, absolutely, every year, yeah. I went to see Santa in Yates in an Escorty. It's an equestrian place now, I think. That's where we were brought to see Santa every year. Yeah, it was a big day.
And tell me this, since Stephen's Day came next.
Stephen's Day.
And you were saying that you used to go, your father used to bring you out to hunt
Yeah,
the
the hunt, the wren. Now, that wasn't as the proper wren boys would have been, men with straw hats going to the pubs and that type of thing. But like Daddy, I suppose, to get out of the house, I suppose, and give Mammy a break, I suppose, for a few minutes, he used to bring the gun and the dog. He never shot at, of course, when we were with him, but he used to bring the gun and the dogs, and we'd go off out to hunt this wren. It's supposed to be the smallest bird there is, I don't know, but that's what we'd go hunting the wren. But we used to be excited about it. But I remember one particular Christmas or Stephen's Day, we went to hunt the wren, and we were up in Ballyhighland Wood, up in the hills, and Daddy got talking to a man that lived up there now. He's gone since. And there was a rat. It's a circle, 3 circles of ditches like. And sister and I got curious, and we climbed into the first circle, and then we into the next one. And in the middle one, there was a great big male goat. Frightened the heart out of us. But I think that was the end of hunting the wren for us. We didn't go. We were too curious to see what. That was the end of hunting the wren, I think. We didn't go anymore.
So you go out for a gander with your father?
Yes, out across the field, maybe out the creek fields or up the road or whatever. And he'd bring the little dogs with him and they'd go on, but he never shot at them when we were with them, like he wouldn't do a rabbit trying went up, he wouldn't do it like that, but it was just I suppose to bring us out and give us a run out, I suppose that was what it was for really.
The noise in the background is the fire, is it?
Yeah, then it's the noise in the chimney with the fire, the wind.
Yeah, the wind. And tell me, do you have many brothers or sisters?
I have one sister.
And the two of you just go out to father?
Yeah, it was just the two of us in it, yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And you go out for a couple of hours in the afternoon?
Yeah, I don't really remember now how long we were out, but I remember doing it, and I remember the most vivid memory is seeing this big male goat in the thing, and yeah. But I remember him going off with the ramming around the fields and the road and that, just get us out of the house, I suppose.
And I know there were up around this part of Wexford, there were straw boys, there were mummers, there were different names on them around Christmas that called to the neighbours.
Yeah.
Was it done can you remember being done around Killan?
I don't ever remember that. No, I don't remember that. But I do know, I remember hearing of lads from Killan going down around carrier places and doing going from pub to pub, like a crowd of lads from around the area went somewhere else to do it, but I don't ever remember it being going on around here.
In this pocket, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It may have been behind it and I don't know anything about it.
It's further in Kilteely and up towards the halfway house.
Yeah, I suppose maybe,
yeah. And tell me this as well, on St. Stephen's Day, did you ever see men going out hunting, the fellas coursing? And was that...
No.
Or the hunt, did the hunt go out?
The hunt, really, yeah. Like, I suppose might have done it on Stephen's Day, yeah. We used to love to see the hunt with all the lovely red coat. Well, of course, like Daddy, I remember saying, was all into hunting. He used to ride the horses and all for the hunt. But then in later years, we'd have to drive him in the car around to the hunts. He used to love and I love the sound of the bugle. Yeah.
Just where we grew up, we hated the sight of the red coats.
Oh yeah, no, I loved
them.
Yeah, well, I suppose maybe Daddy was so interested in himself. Maybe he brought out. No, so I don't know, but we'd be looking out and you'd hear the bugle and you'd be looking to see where area it was in, like, and where we are here we have a great view of the hills all around us, so that you could see it for miles around, like. It was lovely.
And tell me this, say the week, the Christmas week, I suppose, up to New Year's and up to later on, what did you do anything at all? Did everyone stay at home or?
Well, we would have went around and visited and that type of thing, but Little Christmas Day was another big day as such. It was called Little Christmas Day, but it was another kind of a mini Christmas Day, and the decorations wouldn't come down until after Little Christmas Day. It was another very important day in the Christmas season, like.
And funny, we called it, where we grew up as well, we always called it Little Christmas, and we'd always have the dinner, we'd always have another big feed that day.
Yeah, it was such as Christmas Day, yeah, it would have been, yeah. That was the same here.
Same as,
yeah. We had the pudding and everything kept for Little Christmas.
And it was bigger than New Year's Day, really, for us. Was it the same for
Yeah. Well, it would have been, yeah.
And the decorations were taken down then?
The next day then, the decorations, when we come home from school, then we're back to school, and the next day when we come home, then the decorations would be taken down, but they wouldn't be taken down before Little Christmas was over. And I to this day wouldn't take them down before Little Christmas would be over. You know, I wouldn't. But they're up a lot longer now, of course, than they used to be then. Like.
They're up now in October, November.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What do you, I suppose, there's an awful lot, for me anyway, I find there's some great things about Christmas, but there's an awful lot of hype and stress about it as well.
No, I like Christmas one time was a kind of contained to the family of the house, but now it kind of spreads out a bit more. You know, it was like we used to get, as I said, when an aunt used to come with presents to us, all right. We used to get presents from across the water, and aunt, cousin and mammies used to send us presents over, all right. But I don't remember getting anything much else, like, apart from them, you know. I don't remember anything, but I might have had, I don't know. Yeah. There wasn't the same, Mammy never seemed to be fussing like what we are now about Christmas that way. It was always good and happy. Maybe we didn't see it, I don't know. You know. So.
Yeah. I can't imagine it being as busy as it is now.
No. Well, then you see too, I suppose, in them days, a lot of most mothers were at home, they weren't working, and that might take some of the stress out of it as well. Like, and there wasn't the same amount of money there, one way or the other, for to do the Christmas. And it was like the biggest majority of people had to depend on a bus to get to town or a bicycle. You know, there was no jump into the car and go. Then it wasn't. The bus. We mostly went to town on the bus for Christmas, and for any other occasion we had to go, it was on the bus. We went to town.
I suppose you made do with what you had.
Exactly. Yeah. But we always seem to have a plentiful Christmas, and I think everybody do. Like, I was worried about Christmas one year, and a friend of mine said to me, God Almighty never sends a Christmas, but he sends enough for it. And it was very true. You know, everyone always have enough for Christmas. Yeah. That's it, true.